We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next. Today on an all-new Daily Helpline.
I really do think men are pigs at this time in my life.
Men are not pigs. The men that hurt you are pigs. We'll let you have that one.
So if you are naming your child Bonquisha, John Quinay, we judge before we even see.
Always been very, very close.
But I think that there's a conversation that you want to have with your mom that you're not having.
A lack of boundaries invites a lack of respect. Hello and welcome to the Daily Helpline. I'm Miles Edcox.
And I'm Spirit, and we've got a powerful lineup today with everything from broken hearts to broken homes.
And here to help us tackle the tough questions is one of our favorite co-hosts. Please help us give a big welcome back to Professor and Psychologist Dr. Judy Ho.
Welcome back. So glad to be back. Thank you, guys. It's so awesome to have you. Oh, wait, look, let me get in my seat. So let me tell you, one of the things that I love that not a lot of people realize is that not only are you a doctor, but you're also a teacher. What is it like to be teaching at the university, educating the next brilliant minds in the mental health field?
Well, that's such a good question. Some days I get up and those students just frustrate me the way that we probably all frustrated our teachers when we were younger. But I think it's really amazing because you really get to be hands-on and training the next generation of therapists, and I think they help to keep me motivated and remind me of why I got into the profession in the first place, because they're all still so excited and ready to get started.
Why did you get into the profession in the first place?
Well, when I was 16, I had kind of a life-changing experience. I was working in kind of like a big brother, big sister program, and I had a little mentee. I still remember her name. Her name is Derry, and she was 8 years old. Hi, I know, hi, Derry. I was a little bit older. I was, only 16, but I think it was really nice for her to have a consistent person. I just saw like how important that was, and that one person can really make a difference. And so that was when I decided I want to be a therapist, and luckily for me, I got to carry all the way through now. So
we're really glad you're here to help us make a difference in our guests' lives today.
Thank you so much.
And so let's just get to it.
Yeah.
Our first guest is struggling to overcome some devastating heartbreak, and the result is a rather interesting opinion of the opposite sex. She sent us an email asking for help. Let's hear what Krista has to say. I think men are pigs. I have had my heart broken beyond repair twice, in ways you won't even believe. I have tried to move on, but find myself afraid of dating. Now I am sad, lonely, and haven't had sex in well over a decade. I have 2 adult sons who would love to see me happy, but they have no idea how much pain I am really in. I really need help.
Wow.
Let's welcome Krista.
Thank you. Wow, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Hi. Nice to meet you. All right.
So,
wow.
Krista.
Here I am.
What was welcome?
Thank you.
And what was it like to hear that email read back?
It's really hard to see it in black and white like that, but I really do think men are pigs at this time in my life. I think they're cads. I think they choose you, woo you, chew you up and spit you out and go on to a fresher, newer model. And I've had that happen so many times in my life, and it's really holding me back. It's really holding me back from socializing, not just from dating, but from socializing, from getting out there, and I've become very isolated. In the email I wrote that I do have 2 sons, and I really hide my feelings very well when they're around. And I think I hide my feelings from everybody. I spend a lot of time alone.
How does it feel?
I feel sad, I feel angry. Something that wasn't in the letter was that I spent about 10 years of my life taking care of a quadriplegic. My second marriage was to a man. I had been single for a long time, met him, and within a few short months, he became a quadriplegic. I gave up so much of my life taking care of this man, and he ended up leaving me. And it was devastated. And because it was a second marriage, I felt like I really wanted to try really hard to give it my all. So again, felt very abandoned and very sad.
Tell us about what happened in the first marriage.
The first marriage was almost the same thing. Although my first marriage, my husband wasn't sick, but he also ended up leaving me for a very good friend, and they ended up marrying as well. So I feel that I've been abandoned not once, not twice, but also what wasn't in the letter. And I realized that this is a pattern in my life, is my dad also left when I was young. So I have all these men in my life that leave, and I know I'm smiling, but really I'm dying inside thinking about it.
And you smiling is your way of coping. It's your way of covering up what's really inside, because if you don't smile, you're gonna cry.
Oh, yeah.
And so if the part of you that's dying inside could have a voice right now, what would it say?
Help me. How do I get past this? How do I get past the pain and loneliness? Because I would like to have a life where I'm not on the edge of crying all the time. And maybe I would like to have a potential partner, but more than that, I'd just like to have friends and a social life and not be afraid.
We get stuck in that place because the going forward hurts too much. I start to feel it, and I got to put that mask on because I don't want to cry. I don't want to deal with the pain. But then you get stuck in that place, and in order to get through that place, you have to feel it. You have to go through the hurt. You have to cry it out. You have to be angry. And we talk about where you are when you say, I hate men. I think men are pigs. That resentment. You know, we were talking about this last night, and we said, you know, resentment. A great colleague of ours, he said about resentment, it's resent. It's the same message being resent over and over and over. And so as you constantly replay that in your mind over and over and over, it builds up over time. And so the only way that we're going to be able to get you out of that pattern is to have you go through it and not get stuck at the point that you do each and every time where you say, that's enough, I've cried enough, I've thought about it enough, I've been angry enough.
And that's what I feel like. I feel like I've cried so much, I don't want to cry anymore.
And so if I told you you haven't cried enough, what would you say?
Oh, God. I'd say you're probably right, because I have a whole lot more crying I'm sure I could do. I'm pretty devastated at this point, which is why I'm here.
So what do you think you want for your life? I know that you've been talking about the ways in which certain pieces are missing, and you're not really living your life, and you're so afraid, and you're being held back. I like to ask the miracle question, which is, if you woke up tomorrow and everything changed and it was exactly what you wanted it to be, what would your life look like then?
I think my life would look like I had trusting, loving relationships with other people.
Specifically, what would it look like? Walk me through. You wake up in the morning, what's going on?
Wake up in the morning and someone is there to enjoy my morning with. Someone is there to have coffee with, or just talk with, or share my ideas with.
And it's hard for you to imagine that right now. It's really hard. I can tell that it's not really connecting. It's this very theoretical idea to you right now. And we can make it happen, but you can't make it happen until you are, this is really hard. It's
really
okay.
hard.
I understand the message that you've gotten from your past, starting from your dad when you were young, when he left. So all men abandoned you, there's nobody good out there. But these are 3 men in the billions of men that we have in the world. And there's somebody out there for you who's looking for the same thing. What step do you think you can take today to start making a change towards the future that you want?
I don't even know where to start, other than I know that I need to get some of these feelings out. I do journal writing, so I do that. But other than, I've thought about you know, trying online dating. I've thought about just going, you know, I don't want to go to bars. Where do you go to meet people? I just don't even know how that would start.
Let's stop right there, because before we can even talk about bringing somebody else into the equation, we have to make sure that you're ready to receive them.
Right.
Okay, so let's just pause for 1 second. We'll be right back with lots more from Krista right here on the Daily Helpline. Stick around. Coming up.
So every day is about going in and putting on a happy face.
I wonder if you've ever cried with anyone else.
We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.